Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I oppose the motion in its specifics, as I will explain, but I do join with the member for Barawa in acknowledging the strength, determination and courage of the Ukrainian people. War is always terrible and comes with terrible costs. Tens of thousands have died on both sides of this war, and alongside the deaths, there will be at least as many injured, many scarred for life, children left without parents, infrastructure damaged beyond repair, and a whole generation set back in their lives by the disruptions that this war invariably created and creates, and will leave a lasting legacy. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine did not begin 2 years ago, as we know. The immediate roots of the current conflict lie in the political changes in Ukraine in 2014 and Russia's attitude and action at that time. This time marks 2 years since the invasion of Ukraine, an independent and democratic nation, by Russia. The Crimea conflict then and this invasion now are part of a wholly evidenced attitude on the part of Russia that it does not consider Ukraine as an independent state. Russia viewed Ukraine as a vassal state, not one that could freely choose its own foreign or trade policies, but one which had to choose within the bounds that suited Russia. Australia's attitude stands in contrast. Ukraine is a democracy and we are obliged to support its democracy as we do democracy everywhere. The democratic spirit binds us in friendship with many nations. Elections are in fact due in Ukraine this month, and it's of course unlikely that they'll be able to take place now until the war is over and the state of emergency caused by this invasion is over. The Albanese government was elected on the 21st of May 2022, and it's a measure of our solidarity with Ukraine that on the 3rd of July 2022, before this parliament had even commenced, the Prime Minister visited Ukraine and met with President Vladimir Zelensky, calling the invasion a gross violation of international law. The Albanese government is funding and has contributed to the military defence of Ukraine, and we do so without diminution. The government considers each request made to it and responds after considering the best advice, and it's inappropriate to politicise that support. In December 2021, the Morrison government announced that the MRH-90 helicopter would be withdrawn from Australia's service by 2024 due to ongoing issues. After the Jervis Bay ditching and the fatal crash in the Whitsundays a year ago, this government immediately grounded the fleet and has moved to replace them with Black Hawks. In other words, two governments have been on the same page in relation to those machines until the opposition saw some benefit to its current political purposes. The Albanese government is following the advice of experts within the Department of Defence in relation to the helicopter question and will continue to do so. The opposition can pretend it knows better than the experts if it likes. But further, it is regrettable that the opposition has sought to campaign for the re-establishment of an embassy as a way of demonstrating support in a war. The decision of when Australia opens its embassy in Kiev will be determined upon the advice of the department, taking account of the safety of ambassadorial staff. Neither I nor the member for Barawa, nor any other members of this place, should be pushing for this during a war. The suggestion is reckless and shows no consideration or respect for our consular staff. They are not surplus military hardware. Viewed objectively, Australia's commitment to Ukraine is bipartisan and has been consistently so over the last 2 years. So this motion is an unfortunate deviation from that bipartisanship. Our overall support amounts to almost $1 billion, $760 million of which is military assistance. The most recent commitment was on the 15th of February, a $50 million grant to the International Fund for Ukraine, supporting the procurement of priority military capabilities. Apart from direct financial assistance, our support has included 120 Bushmasters, 56 armoured vehicles and 6 howitzers, as well as ammunition and armour. Australian personnel continue to train Ukrainian soldiers as part of an extended and expanded mission in the United Kingdom. War is a dog that is always hungry. I abhor the decision by the Russian government to invade Ukraine, and I hope, as all members do, for a speedy resolution to this terrible conflict. Until that time, Ukraine can count on Australia's continued friendship and support.